Welcome back. In this episode, I believe it's episode number 4 of the How to Become a Psychic Medium, the series that we are running here at Help where I guarantee by the end of this course, if you watch each and every video to the very end and you absorb the information that I'm giving you, you will become not just a great medium, but you will become an exceptional conduit to the spirit world. If you're new to the channel, my name is Psychic Medium Jordan Coburn, and I can prove with evidence of the afterlife. I've helped thousands of people on this earth plane to once again be able to reach out and contact their loved ones in spirit from the understandings and the teachings, and now it's your turn. Each and every one of you can become great mediums. In here, at Help Heal Serve, we can give you the core foundations, the building blocks that you so need and desire to forge your own unique understanding with the spirit world. Not to mention, we have the loving and supporting Help Heal Serve family. If you've just stumbled across this video, I would actively encourage you to go to episode number 1 of this series. I will be referencing a lot of different things in this video, so if you haven't watched that, it's going to become very confusing to you very quick. Also, if you believe that you can skip videos and you don't need to watch certain videos, the problem with that is I can't condition your mind in a way that is going to be constructive to you as an individual. I need to break it down. I need to give you these understandings. And before anyone says, well, actually, Jordan, my understandings do serve me, but I just get things wrong. You get things wrong, my friend, because of the understandings you have. I need to strip them all away, build you back from the very, very basics to help each and every one of you to be able to connect. In this episode, we are going to be speaking about what even is the spirit world. Because here I am on a public platform doing videos and making you a medium. But let's be completely honest about it. Each and every one of you will have a very different understanding, comprehension, fear associated to the spirit world. Let's go straight to the fear side of it. Why is it that people in the year 2025 fear the spirit world? Very, very simple. I'm glad you asked. Hollywood, entertainment, a very big commercial franchise which makes a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. It is there to exploit your vulnerabilities, your insecurities. By doing that, it gives them the upper hand. When you are scared, the chances are if you are watching a movie and you're scared, you're going to watch the rest of that movie, aren't you? You're going to be on the edge of your seat. You're going to be wanting to know what happens next. It's that hook of intrigue, which I speak about the spirit world all of the time. You'll hear us saying it on all of these videos. Spirit will work with you by giving you that little taste of the spirit world. And once you're there, you're like, oh, that's it. The spirit world are going to be working with you from that point on. But the fear that's associated to each and every one of you, think about it like this, right? The fear that's associated has come from poor understandings. If you are somebody who is watching my channel and you are scared of the spirit world, then first of all, you've been led to me for a reason, because I am going to obliterate that humanistic notion by showing you logical practices that you can use, by making it not as special as what people make it. Let's be completely honest when we're speaking about the spirit world. Each and every one of you are born mediums. It's down to people like myself to be able to highlight to you that you have extrasensory abilities. When we come into Hollywood's practices, it doesn't depict any of this. It doesn't highlight to you that you can't communicate with energy. It turns you away from energy. I'll give you an example here. If there was a movie, well, there is a movie actually, I think it's called Casper the Friendly Ghost. In that movie, it depicts the spirit world as being friendly. You do have some, I think I haven't watched it that many times, but you do have some nice accounts of spirit. I believe Casper's the Friendly Ghost. And then you have lots of different spirits, don't you? Even that for a child will become scary because you have a definitive change between a nice spirit and you have nasty spirits. There is no such thing. There is not one spirit that is nasty. There is no evil at all. Mankind are the putrid and evil ones. It is mankind who are here to refine themselves as a soul. The energy isn't evil. And before anyone says, oh my God, you don't know what you're talking about. I've read this book and I've read that book. I'll let my work speak for itself. And that's probably why you found this channel. Not because I talk the talk or because I bring forward evidence of the afterlife. I don't need to fudge me words. I don't need to pretend. I don't need to. Any one of you can watch any one of my videos. Any one of you who've had readings from me, you see the connection that I have with and I forge. And guess what? I don't have an element of fear towards the spirit world. Why? Because I don't listen to mankind. Mankind are there to suppress you. This is the year 2025. This is the start of a new era for mediums, because I am going to be giving you the tools with the spirit world to start stepping away from them entertaining value. We don't need the entertainment. The entertainment has, look what it has done to mankind as a civilization. Each and every one of you want to contact your loved ones in spirit. Each and every one of you think that there are evil spirits out there that are there to harm you. It is ludicrous. A lot of people are going to get confused. When we are talking about the spirit world. And because there's probably going to be a lot of you who's heard of a horror story, for example, that stereotypical story where a group of friends have went into an abandoned building and they've sat together and they've done an Ouija board. You never guess what? When they got home, the spirit world followed them home. Each and every one of you, you'll know somebody, and you might even be the person that I'm talking about here. I don't mean any offense by this, but I'm using it as a core example. In those moments, when these individuals have left that location and they have placed their intent to gain information through that Ouija board, there's many different ways of doing it, but this is for the example for this one. They have went in with the sole purpose to connect with energy. Energy is all around us. It's omnipresent, like the air that we breathe. An abundance of scientific equipment can prove of the energy. Scientists to this day, you can go and check it yourself. Scientists today have discovered that there is a conscious energy. Now, I don't care about mankind's notions or theories, but it's interesting to know that scientists who are completely against the things that we do have now determined that there is a conscious energy. This is the energy to which you will return. This is what we refer to when we're talking about the spirit world. Coming back to the fear-based notions, be very wary of anyone who is telling you to protect from the spirit world. That statement in itself shows their ignorance to the energies that they claim to be a part of. It's like saying to you, I've got loads of best friends. And we're all going to go out on a drink together. But watch that one. Watch that one. You wouldn't do that. You just wouldn't have them in your company, which is the same when it comes to the spirit world. People, because of the education that they've had and the entertainment values that come into their teaching styles, they will tell you to protect from the spirit world, protect from the realms, protect from... You've got to remember, I know I always come in really hard from this, right? But you've got to remember, you have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. That is the only thing you need to protect from. Fun fact, well, not so much fun, but it's a fact. Not one of you can protect from energy. Seriously, the power of suggestion has been planted in your mind by mankind that you have to protect, you have to do this. The problem is there's going to be a lot of you who have unfortunately fallen into this slippery slope of despair where every other day you're doing a chakra alignment, you're doing a cleansing ritual, you're doing this because the energy's bad, this. It is an endless pit. You are going to continuously decline because you only have so much energy, my friend. You only have so much energy to give. And every time you choose to add another dilution into the mix, which is simple, I may add, for mediumship, every time you add a little thing into there, even just saying a prayer before you do a reading, even just spending 5 minutes to do a meditation before a reading, even just putting on a special cloak before you go into a reading, even just singing before, all of these different things are manufacturing safety nets within your mind that don't need to be there at all. Please, I know you might have just found this video and I know you might think I'm crazy, but I let my work speak for itself. I can make you a psychic medium. I can give you all of the tools that your little heart desires. In the first instance, you need to stop fearing the spirit world. We have the understandings on this platform. This entire series is going to debunk every one of mankind's ludicrous notions. I'm going to show you how much each and every one of you have been suppressed by the words of man. Power of suggestion is strong with, yes, because the power of suggestion is a very, very real thing on this planet. Because when we have notions that don't serve you, we have individuals who, unfortunately, they don't have the ability to connect because of some of the notions that they've been given. This is where you will find a lot of people become suppressed throughout their entire mediumship. They can't break the mold. They can't think outside of the box. In some cases, not to sound nasty, they can't think for themselves. They fall into the slippery slope of mankind, the regurgitated conveyor belt of motions that you have to go through, all of the different practices. Listen, it's complete bollocks. And I'm going to prove it to each and every one of you, to every one of these schools out there, to every one of these people out there who tell you that you have to do it in a certain way. A lot of you are going to come back and say, well, actually, Jordan, you're telling us to do it in a certain way. What I'm doing is on the contrary to what you may think. I am giving you the building blocks so that you can then forge your own unique understanding of the spirit world. I'm not saying to you, you have to do it my way. I'm telling you, if you do it my way, it's going to work. You don't have to do it my way. You don't even have to listen. You don't even have to watch these videos. That's all down to you. But when it comes to entertainment, sorry everyone, I'm going to have to get a drink. Skin the back of my throat. When it comes to entertainment is going to be one of the biggest things that you are going to have to overcome when it comes to the spirit world. Because here you have one side of you that likes the idea of there being scary spirits because you've watched all of these horror movies, the possibilities. If you're somebody like me, I love the darker stuff. And I work with the realm, so I get to see the darker stuff. But mankind's depictions of this energy doesn't look anything remotely like what it's like. Seriously, if you're somebody who likes the scary side of the spirit world, believe me, when you start working with the realms, you will see the things to which you watch. Not because the realms are scary and not because of the way that they do things, because the realms we're going to cover in a different video, but the realms are going to be interpreted by yourself, by your understanding. Remember, the spirit world, the energy realms are going to cloak ideas. That's how you see them. We have many different things on this planet. We have leprechauns. We have, Spirit, give us some more, please. So we have elementals. We have dragons. We have mythology. We have loads of different things. And let us be perfectly clear and frank when I say this to each and every one of you. We have energy, and that's that. That's all there is. Don't come into this and make it more complicated than what it actually needs to be. If you come into this and go, well, actually, hang on a minute, I'm going to work with energy. I also am very conscious and aware that that energy will cloak an image of whatever it thinks I want to see or I feel comfortable with in those moments. If you see a little leprechaun during a reading, do you think it's because there's leprechauns? No, it's because you like the idea that the idea of there being leprechauns. If you are somebody like me who likes to see things thrown, you like to see that evidence all compiling together, that's what you're going to see. Coming back to the original point that I was going on about the Ouija board, sorry, I got kind of lost in the motions there. These individuals who went into the house and done the Ouija board and they left, we know that the energy is omnipresent all around her. They went with the intent, they charged their extrasensory perceptions up. Once they had placed their initial intent and focus into gaining information from the spirit world, that's it. It's like picking up a mobile phone and typing in a number. That's it. Your intent has placed and initiated that communication to take place. When you leave the location, and people say that the spirit world are following them, what's actually happening there, folks? What do you think's happening? We know the spirit world's everywhere anyway, so they've got no need to follow you. What's happening in those moments is those individuals who have used their extrasensory perceptions in those moments are still using them extrasensory perceptions when they leave that location. However, individuals don't realize that when you use your extrasensory perceptions, you can't switch them off. They don't switch off. And I actively encourage each and every one of you. You'll see videos out there where people are saying, I'll come to me and I'll activate your chakras. I'll align your chakras. I'll activate your third eye. I'll cleanse you. They're talking absolute BS to each and every one of you. And you're buying it. Stop buying it. Remember that your extrasensory perceptions, once you are starting to use them, will only become more refined with time. Which, in a way, it's a good thing, especially if you're coming into this line of work. But if you're not coming into this line of work, it can become very daunting, very, very quick. So now that we've explained that, and you've got a little bit of an understanding of some of the fear-based notions that are going to be associated, we're going to have haunted locations. Listen, you'll see me sometimes on a video putting haunted in the title. It's clickbait. It's literally everywhere I go, I get the spirit world to come forward. So everywhere I go, I've been to my work and seen 7 spirits. The spirit will go wherever I go. That's because of my connection. I can connect to them instantly. They will show me things instantly. Does that mean that this place is haunted? Well, when you think about it realistically, and you now have the understanding that the spirit world are everywhere, they're omnipresent. Name one place that isn't going to be haunted. Mankind, though, play on it. They play on your vulnerabilities and insecurities because they can profiteer from it. They can sell you this notion. They can sell you the ideologies, so you manufacture fear within your mind. Once that fear is at the forefront, you aren't getting rid of it unless you go and pay for protection. You go and pay for a special cleanse of a ritual. You go and sit under a full moon and you chant and you do all these different things. The point that I'm trying to make here is you can see from the examples how you can be swayed very, very quickly to have fear associated to the spirit world. That's the fear side of it done. Also, to a lot of you who are wondering, well, actually, hang on a minute, John. You've just said there that the spirit world aren't evil. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Because we've mentioned this in an earlier video, but just to touch up on it. Remember, what is it that makes a human being evil? What is it that makes a human being have the right to free will as they live their sensory existence? What is it? It's the brain. What happens when the human part of us dies? The energy part of us returns back to energy. What happens to the ugly humanistic emotions, the traits, the jealousy, the anger, the hatred, the corruption? What happens to all of these horrible traits? Do they go back to energy? Well, how can they? They're a fabrication of the mind, a fabrication of the individual's experiences on this planet. They are cultivated within the brain. They stay, they die with the body. Therefore, we don't have any space for negativity in the spirit world. And that's not a spiritual saying. I'm not saying that in a spiritual sense. I'm saying that in a factual sense. There is no such thing as evil in the spirit world. Evil, remember, a lot of people, when you think about the terminology evil, you think about the spirit world in the world to which you live now. If we have right, we have wrong. If we have good, we have bad. If we have happiness, we must have sadness. We live all of these different parallels, all of these different coincidences, all of these different conundrums. Thing is when you're thinking about the spirit world, you are comparing our world to the spirit world. Why do you think we come here in the first place to go through this experience? It's because we can't do the things that we do in this life, what we do in the spirit world. You get what I'm saying? We know that the brain stays with the body. Therefore, Frank could have been a horrible person in his life. Absolute horrible little specimen of a human being. But when Frank returns back to energy, he's not the same person. I know I've mentioned there a lot of the bad, the fear-based things, because I think this is something that a lot of you are going to be faced with when you're coming into mediumship. You've got so many different videos, you've got so many different channels spouting this absolute garbage. The thing is these people who are saying to you, you have to protect and you have to do all of these different things, they can't prove any of this. They can't prove their connection to the spirit world. It's all words. It's all words of mouth. A lot of it as well is doctored footage to try and make them look like they've got a connection. So just be very careful, people. I know I'm very passionate about working alongside of the spirit world, and I know there's probably 50% of you who think, oh my God, you're just crazy. But I live this every day. This isn't a game to me. The spirit world are with me with each and every breath that I take, every moment, every milestone that I come along, just like each and every one of you. You have to embrace it, but to be able to embrace it, you can't fear it. Let's talk a little bit about what the spirit world is now in terms of energy. So the easiest way to think of the spirit world is to think of an onion. When you look at that onion, you have many different layers. At the core of the onion, you have what we refer to as the spirit world. This is an energy frequency. Around the onion core, we have 6 different layers. There are 7 realms in total, spirit being one of them. So we have 7 realms in total. So if you think of the core of the onion, then you think of 6 layers around that. When I say to each and every one of you that you are working with the spirit world, or you want to work with the spirit world, what you've got to realize is you, whilst you are living an earthly existence in the materialistic sense, you are going along your life journey. When you are no more, you will return back to energy form. The way that spirit shows me is, because there's a lot of you now, if we think of what we're going to be covering all of this in a different video, but while we're on this topic, let's go through it. Think of yourself being this crystal ball. This is the soul part of us. A lot of you might not know this, but you have 2 parts to you. You have the human part, and you also have the soul. The soul resides within the stomach area of all living beings, not just humans, all living beings. When the materialistic body fails and the auric field all around me, which encompasses the soul, it stops it leaving the body. Once the beating heart stops and the auric field comes down, like a sci-fi movie, you might want to think, if you think of radiation all around me, they're sealing this in. Boing, 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 boing. Can't leave. Unfortunately, my heart's now stopped. Straight off the energy. That's why a lot of the times you'll see as well, a lot of the times when you see the spirit world in the form of an orb, you'll see them traveling in a circular motion, a sphere. Once you're back in energy, I know there's going to be a lot of you now thinking, is there thousands of little orbs all around? No. When you return back to energy, if a lot of you think of this, when you get 2 bubbles, and if any of you've ever done the dishes or you've ever played with magic bubbles that children have or anything like that, you'll know what I mean. You get 2 bubbles. So we're going to put the bubbles there together. And what happens is when we return back to energy, think of this bubble being the spirit world. This is our soul. We are now going to go and join, and we become part of the oneness. This is actually the only thing, the only terminology mankind have right. Seriously, it's balmy at how many people out there claim to be something they're not by showing practices that have been passed down from person to person, not using their own connection to the spirit world, just regurgitating stuff. The oneness is the entirety of the spirit world. It is the energy. It's where you're going to return back to. Mentioned there about how you return back, and we've also spoken about how there can't be any evil spirits. We touched upon animals going into the spirit world also. When you think of the spirit world, you have to think of it as being in a materialistic sense. The only way that you will be able to understand it is the soul part of you is the fingerprint to the spirit world. Each and every one of you have unique identities, not just in, because remember, when you return back to energy, you don't have the physical form. You will have the physical form contained within the soul. Therefore, if somebody's doing a reading or somebody needs evidence, the soul will go to the medium in those moments. The soul will then decide which life is going to be evidential in those moments. So we've now spoken about the soul's transition, how it goes there. Animals in spirit. Let us get something completely clear. And we're going to cover this on another video, but I want to touch up on it now. Spirit asking us to. If you come to this planet and live out an earthly existence, you do not come back to this planet as a fish. You do not come back to this planet as an animal. Animals have souls, yes. But the souls of animals have their own unique print to them, just like we have as a human being. A human being can't come back as a goldfish. A human being can't come back as a cat. And I know there's going to be a lot of you who say, well, actually, I've got an animal and it reminds me of a person. Yes, the reason it reminds you is the spirit world can come through the animal just like they can with yourself. You have extrasensory perceptions. Guess what? So do animals. This is why a lot of the time you will see affection from an animal and you'll be like, oh, this animal's been on this planet before. Or you'll get animals that are very wise. This is because they've had many lives, but they haven't had human lives. They haven't been to the bank. They haven't been to a shop. They haven't ever drove a car. Remember, animals, everything is they're laughing at us. I cannot say the word. Can I say it? Right, they're shouting segregated. It's not can I say it? They're telling us to move on, but I want to say it. Well, basically anyway, right? Before I look like a jittering wreck. I can't say it. It's going to be in different compartments. That's the word I was trying to say, compartments, but there's a compartmentalized or something. Anyway, they're laughing at us. I'm continuing. In one area, you are going to have the spirit world, the human forms who are coming back to live out earthly existences. You are going to have horses. You are going to have dogs. You are going to have cats. You're going to have birds. You're going to have yada, yada, yada. All of these different animals. Please don't fool yourself into thinking that you're going to come back as a butterfly. It doesn't work like that. People will tell you that because they like to basically think that they're different. They like to think that they're some sort of bringer of news from the spirit world, but the problem is these people can't prove anything to speak. It's just words. It's anyone who is educated and anyone who can prove of their connection with the spirit world. You can see very, very quick these individuals have a lack of understanding. We've mentioned there about animals in spirit. Why don't we mention now a couple of things that a lot of people will, you will hear people saying. Heaven. There's no such thing as heaven. There's no such thing as hell. I know a lot of you don't like me saying that, right? And what you've got to understand is I'm not conditioned by man. I don't follow mankind's notions, and I don't say any of the things that I say with malice. I just want to help people understand what awaits. Yes, there's an afterlife, and each and every one of you will return there. Whilst a lot of you might say, well, actually, Jordan, do you agree with that? There are a lot of people who deserve to be punished in this life, and they do get punished in this life. In this life. Not in the next life. It doesn't work like that. You come to this planet as a raw organic soul. And whilst there are people that do deserve, they don't deserve, the niceness. There are people who've done heinous crimes. And you won't like me saying this. But if you think about what religion is, if you follow a religion, any religion, you are going to have a common denominator that is going to be fear-based. For example, in one religion, if you follow these practices, you are going to go to the golden gates, the pearly gates, heaven. You've got to commit to doing these certain things. And if you follow all of these different agendas that we have, you're going to get into heaven. You're going to get into whatever, Valhalla. There's many different things that it's called. Now, let's look at the flip side of that. There's going to be some religions that tell you that if you don't do these things and you do not be a good follower of this religion, you are going to be penalized by the gods themselves. You are going to go to a place called hell, the bottomless pit, the darkened abyss. There's many different words for it. Do you think in your heart, I'm not asking you about what you've been taught by man. I'm not asking you any of that. I'm asking you, in your heart, do you believe that you will go to heaven or a place called hell? Because I can guarantee each and every one of you, you think that's just as ludicrous is the notion of there not being an afterlife. Each and every one of you will go back to energy. You're not going to heaven, you're not going to hell. You're going back to energy. Problem is mankind aren't happy with that. Mankind like to make it more appeasing, more mystery associated to it, because when there's a mystery associated to it and there's dilutions in poor understandings, guess what? It stops each and every one of you being able to understand what this actually is. I know, listen, I get it, right? I get why a lot of you want it to be a heaven. And to each and every one of you who are thinking now, well, hang on, Jordan, you've just blown up my world. I wanted to think of my loved one being in spirit. I like them being in heaven. I've gonna go one better for you here. They're not up there in the yonder. They're not down below. They are with you now watching this video. Why do you think you've been led to my channel? They are with you with each and every beat of your heart, with each and every milestone that you overcome. They are by your side, chaperoning you through the most troublous times that you will have. They are watching you. They are the guiding light. You don't need to think of them as being somewhere in some man-made place, location. You don't need to think of them in anywhere else. Know in your heart of hearts that they are with you now. They are here giving you this understanding. They are guiding you through each and every one of my videos. They are going to be at the end when you become a medium, when you activate and you start to hone in on your abilities, your extrasensory abilities. You are going to be able to see them firsthand for yourself. And all of this hard work that you are going through now in these initial stages are going to pay off, because you are going to see the difference between yourself in somebody else. You are going to not just be able to speak your truth, you are going to be able to speak with conviction by bringing forward evidence of the afterlife, by validating your claims, not just hearsay, not just, oh, did you hear what? No, you're going to be able to back your words up by your actions. I'm trying not to go too much, my throat's going funny as well, to be fair. I'm trying not to go too much into this, and I'll tell you the reason why, because we're going to be doing different videos for different sections of it. So we'll be going through the realms on a separate video. We'll be going through many of the different misconceptions of heaven, the oneness, the energy. A lot of people ask the question as well, Spirit asking us to address this. What age are you in spirit? You aren't any age in spirit. Remember, to be an age in spirit would mean that you have a physical form. You take the physical form in the materialistic to go through your earthly existence. When you're in spirit, you don't need to do that. You are essentially that. That's exactly what you are. A little Sophia, a little ball of energy. Contained within this, you are going to have many different lives. Another thing Spirit asking us to address: illness in the spirit world. I know there might be a lot of you who are wondering, are your loved ones who were in pain in this life now in the afterlife suffering? No, the earthly ailments stay at the confines of the body. They don't go into the spirit world at all. Anyone who is telling you that, anyone who's told you that your loved one took their own life and now they're in the afterlife and the trapped spirit, the trapped soul, bull. Absolute bull. They don't know what they're talking about. Their arrogance speaks for them. They shouldn't be saying that to people. They should be giving people evidence. Every one of us can give evidence. And that evidence is that the spirit world aren't in pain. They aren't trapped for eternity. Another thing Spirit are asking us to address is trapped spirits, trapped souls. You've got to remember, again, mankind, we like entertainment. Bloody hell, we love entertainment. Let's be completely honest. Who doesn't? I love entertainment. You'll see me in my videos. I like to entertain, but I like to educate at the same time. I like to be theatrical. I like to do all of this. I love it. It's me as a person. I'm very, I should have probably been on an entertainment cruise ship or something. It's just my energy. It's the way that I like to do things. I'm very handsy. You'll see in all my videos, I'm doing things with my hands. But you've got to remember, a lot of mankind will feed you information that is going to dilute your own understandings. There are no such thing as trapped souls. It's instant transition. You will hear people who say, oh, I've got to wait 6 months to contact the spirit world because they've passed over. They're going through the 8 weeks of passing. What the bloody hell are you going on about? Like, literally, I've had people who've passed over and they've instantly connected to me. If I can do it, every other person can do it. And one of the things is you've got to remember is there's a lot of people who say, oh, the spirit world they can't come to us until they've crossed over. These people clearly have not just a misguided understanding, but they can't think for themselves. They can't do mediumship for themselves. They've fallen into the trap that we mentioned at the beginning of this video, where you don't think for yourself. You become that conveyor belt of information because their teacher before them taught them that. And rather than starting to use their own abilities, they've just done whatever the teachers told them. And that's not good. I'm sorry that this video, my throat's been going a little bit weird in this video for some reason. I hope I'm not coming down with a bug or a flu or something like that. But I think a lot of the time as well, I get very passionate, especially when I'm speaking on behalf of the spirit world. They get very passionate. So I think I've probably just skinned my throat or something like that. I think we've touched upon everything I want to touch on in regards to the spirit world. Is there anything you just want to mention before we go? We've mentioned everything that we want to mention. And I think this has been a good little eye-opener to a lot of you. To some of the things that get said. Some of the things that you should be prepared for coming into mediumship. And I mean, I'd like to say a big, massive thank you to yourself as well. And the spirit world would. You watch these videos because your intent is you want to become a medium. And throughout that entire process, you are being selfless. You are exercising your empathic abilities. You are trying to connect to your loved ones. You are trying to connect and gain information for each and every person. And without sounding condescending, you should be very proud of the person that you are. The person that you are, the courageous individual that is watching this video before me. We have a lot in store for you. We are going to give you everything that your little heart needs and desires. Just continue to watch these videos. Continue to put the hard work in. We can make you the greatest medium that you could potentially be by giving you the understandings that you so need and desire. We're going to leave that video there now. If you did enjoy this video, remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, thank you to all the channel members. And if you did like this and you want to learn some more, remember to check out the videos at the top left and right. And I'm going to go with my croaky voice and do a little bit of a meditation, I think. See you all later on the next one.